Hey everyone! Do you think Stoics are emotionless, boring people who just sit there with a poker face, feeling nothing? Let me bust that myth right now. If you've ever wanted to find inner peace, become truly resilient to life's blows, and finally stop worrying about every little thing, then you're in the right place. Today, we're unveiling the true face of a philosophy that's over 2 millennia old, yet is the most powerful tool for the modern human. This is Stoicism, and it's far deeper than mere indifference. Want to know how it works? Then hit that subscribe button and get ready to change your perspective on life. So, let's start with the most common misconception, the one that often makes people dismiss Stoicism before they even truly understand it. Many mistakenly believe that being a Stoic means being emotionless, suppressing feelings, never feeling joy or sadness, or reacting with indifference to life's most profound moments. Imagine, you hear terrible news, perhaps a close friend is going through a devastating breakup, or you face a significant personal loss, and you respond with a detached, "Well, it is what it is," as if nothing affects you. Ridiculous, right? This widespread image of the Stoic person, cold, rigid, and unresponsive to the rich tapestry of human experience, is a profound misrepresentation of a philosophy that is, at its heart, deeply human and incredibly practical. The truth is, Stoics never advocated for an absence of emotion. In fact, they recognized that emotions are natural, an integral part of the human condition. To deny them would be to deny a fundamental part of ourselves. The great Stoic Seneca, a brilliant Roman playwright, statesman, and philosopher, wrote extensively about human emotions, including the complexities of grief. He didn't tell people not to cry when a loved one passed, rather, he encouraged a mindful approach to sorrow. He himself experienced profound personal losses, including the deaths of family members and friends, and openly acknowledged his own moments of deep sadness. Yet, he sought to grieve in a way that honored the lost, acknowledged the pain as a natural response, but did not allow sorrow to consume him, to paralyze his ability to live meaningfully, or to lead him to irrational decisions. His advice was always to acknowledge the feeling, to experience it fully, but then to quickly assess its rationality, its benefit, and its potential for destructive action, and then to consciously return to a state of calm reason and purposeful action. Even Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who governed one of the largest empires in history and faced unimaginable pressures, relentless wars on the frontiers, devastating plagues, political treachery, and personal tragedies, constantly recorded his internal struggles in his Meditations. His writings are not the reflections of a man devoid of feeling. On the contrary, he openly wrestled with irritation at rude courtiers, fatigue from his immense responsibilities, and occasional moments of despair over the state of the world. However, instead of succumbing to these feelings, he used his writings as a personal exercise to recognize their presence, understand their origins, often his own judgments, and then meticulously apply Stoic principles to regain his composure, maintain his integrity, and act virtuously. He was a human being, striving for wisdom and self-mastery every single day, not a divine being immune to suffering or emotional challenges. The Stoics' ultimate goal was not to eliminate emotions, but to understand them deeply, to manage their impact on our minds and actions, and crucially, to prevent them from controlling their choices and judgments. They aimed for a state of apatheia, a term often misunderstood as apathy in modern English. However, in its true Greek sense, apatheia means freedom from disturbing passions, or freedom from suffering caused by irrational emotions. It implies a state where your internal peace and rational judgment aren't dictated by external events or overwhelming, irrational emotional impulses. They sought to be masters of their inner life, guiding their internal responses with reason and virtue, rather than being slaves to fleeting feelings or destructive impulses. This distinction is paramount to truly understanding Stoicism. So, if Stoicism isn't about being an emotionless robot, what is it? It's not just a dusty theory for intellectuals, it's a practical philosophy of action, a vibrant, living system for navigating the complexities of life. Think of it less as a set of rigid rules and more as an advanced operating system for your mind, meticulously designed to help you make better, more rational decisions, maintain an incredible calm even in the most severe crises, and ultimately live an incredibly meaningful and flourishing existence. Stoicism isn't about retreating from the world or becoming passive observers. Quite the opposite. Many prominent Stoics were deeply engaged in public life. They believed that the main goal of a human being, their telos, or ultimate purpose, is to live in harmony with virtue and reason, actively engaging with the world and contributing to the common good. Consider the historical figures. Seneca was a prominent statesman, a close advisor to Emperor Nero, deeply involved in the political intrigues of Rome. Marcus Aurelius was not just a philosopher, but an emperor, a military commander, and a leader responsible for millions of lives. Epictetus, though a former slave, became a highly influential teacher, guiding countless students towards a better life. These individuals didn't live as hermits, they faced immense real-world pressures, made difficult decisions, and served their communities. Their philosophy was forged in the crucible of real-world challenges, not ivory tower speculation. This practical origin infused Stoicism with a hands-on approach that sets it apart from many other philosophical schools. It's a philosophy that demands constant application, not just intellectual agreement. For instance, in the modern world, where information overload, constant connectivity, and the pressure to perform are ever present, Stoicism offers tangible tools. How do you make ethical decisions in a morally ambiguous business environment? How do you lead a team through a crisis with composure? How do you maintain integrity when faced with temptation or public pressure? Stoicism provides a robust framework. It teaches you to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot, guiding your energy where it truly matters. This focus on what is within your power empowers you to act decisively, to contribute positively to society, and to remain serene in the face of adversity, all while living a life guided by integrity and profound wisdom. It's about aligning your will with the rational order of the universe and finding your unique purpose within that grand design, ensuring your actions are always consistent with your highest values. This active engagement, tempered by wisdom and resilience, is the true essence of Stoicism. Every great movement has a defining moment, a catalytic spark that ignites its genesis. For Stoicism, that spark was, quite literally, a shipwreck. Imagine this vivid scene unfolding in 300 BC, a young, prosperous Phoenician merchant named Zeno of Citium is traversing the perilous seas, his ship laden with valuable cargo, precious dyes, spices, and other goods, representing years of tireless work, shrewd investments, and accumulated wealth. His entire livelihood, his future security, his identity as a successful businessman, were tied up in that vessel. Suddenly, without warning, a ferocious storm descends upon the Aegean Sea. The ship is caught in its merciless grip, battered by colossal waves, tossed about like a toy, and ultimately, it breaks apart against the jagged rocks near the Athenian coast. Zeno loses everything, his merchandise, his fortune, his entire livelihood. He is, literally, left with nothing but the clothes on his back and the ground beneath his feet. Most people in his position would be utterly consumed by despair, by financial ruin, and the crushing weight of their immense loss. The natural human reaction would be overwhelming grief, searing anger at fate, and a debilitating sense of utter hopelessness. Their entire world would crumble. Yet, Zeno's story takes a dramatically different, almost miraculous turn. Cast ashore near Athens, a city teeming with intellectual life and philosophical inquiry, he wanders into a bookstore. While browsing, perhaps seeking solace or distraction, he happens upon a volume containing the dialogues of Socrates, perhaps those recorded by Xenophon. As he reads, something profound shifts within him. The wise man's words resonate deeply, speaking to a truth beyond material possessions, a truth about inner fortitude, self-sufficiency, and self-mastery that external circumstances cannot touch. Inspired by Socrates' unwavering calm in the face of adversity, even death, Zeno feels an undeniable pull towards philosophical inquiry. He immediately asks the bookseller where he might find a philosopher like Socrates. The bookseller points to Crates of Thebes, a prominent Cynic philosopher, who happens to be passing by. Zeno eagerly becomes Crates' student, enduring the rigorous, ascetic training of the Cynics, which further stripped away his attachment to material comforts. He spends years studying under various schools of thought, including the Megarians and Platonists, absorbing different perspectives, meticulously refining his own ideas, always seeking that core truth about how to live well. And then, after much contemplation, learning, and self-discipline, Zeno begins to teach his unique philosophy. He doesn't seek a grand academy. Instead, he chooses a public porch in Athens, the Stoa Poikil, meaning painted porch, famous for its murals. It was from this humble, open space, accessible to all, that the powerful school of thought took its timeless name, Stoicism. This isn't just a captivating historical anecdote. It's a living, breathing testament to the very core of Stoic philosophy. Zeno's journey, from devastating loss to profound philosophical discovery, is a powerful, archetypal example of how a person can transform what appears to be an unmitigated catastrophe into the very starting point for the greatest and most impactful discovery of their life. He didn't just survive the shipwreck, he transcended it. He transformed a moment of external ruin into a moment of internal revelation. Zeno showed the world that the most critical factor in human flourishing is not what happened to you, the external event itself, the shipwreck, but rather how you reacted to it, how you chose to interpret and respond to the circumstances that life presented. His shipwreck was not an end, but a radical beginning, a powerful testament to the idea that true wealth lies within, beyond the reach of external forces, immune to storms, market crashes, or any form of material loss. Now that we've dispelled the myths and understood the inspiring origins of Stoicism, let's dive into its foundational principles, the core pillars that uphold this mighty inner fortress. At its heart, Stoicism is a radical call to virtue. This isn't some dusty, antiquated concept. Think of it as the master key to unlocking genuine and lasting happiness, or eudaimonia, as the Greeks called it, a state of human flourishing. The Stoics didn't believe happiness came from fleeting external things like accumulating vast wealth, achieving celebrity status, or constantly indulging in pleasure. Instead, they argued that true, enduring well-being arose solely from living a life of profound integrity, guided by a set of 4 cardinal virtues. These aren't just abstract ideals, they are actionable principles for every single decision you make, every interaction you have, every moment of your life.
The 4 cardinal virtues are wisdom, Sophia/prudence. This is not just intellectual knowledge or accumulating facts. For Stoics, wisdom is the practical application of knowledge to navigate life's complexities. It's the ability to discern what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. It's about making sound judgments, understanding cause and effect, and knowing how to act appropriately in any given situation. It involves self-awareness, critical thinking, and the ability to learn from experience. In modern terms, it's about emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, and continuous learning, not just being smart. Example: in a world flooded with misinformation, wisdom means taking a moment to critically evaluate news sources before reacting emotionally or sharing blindly. It's about seeking truth, not just confirmation bias. Or, in a workplace dispute, wisdom guides you to understand the underlying issues, rather than just reacting to surface-level arguments. Justice, Dichotomy. This virtue extends beyond legal fairness. For Stoics, justice is about treating all human beings with fairness, kindness, and impartiality, recognizing our shared humanity. It's about acting for the greater good, contributing to your community, and fulfilling your duties to others. Stoics believed in a universal brotherhood of humanity, teaching that we are all citizens of the cosmos. This makes justice a deeply empathetic and outward-looking virtue. Example: In today's interconnected world, justice might mean advocating for fair labor practices, speaking up against discrimination, or simply treating everyone you encounter, from the barista to the CEO, with inherent respect and dignity, even when you disagree with them. It's about being a good citizen of the world, not just your country. Courage, Andrea/fortitude. This is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act rightly in spite of fear. It's about facing adversity, standing up for what is right, and persevering through difficulty. Courage isn't just physical bravery, it's also moral courage, the willingness to hold true to your principles even when it's unpopular or difficult. It's the strength to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself or the world. Example: courage might mean speaking up against injustice at work, even if it's risky. It could mean pursuing a difficult but meaningful personal goal despite fear of failure, or facing a tough conversation about your mental health. In an era of online criticism, it's the courage to be authentic despite the fear of judgment. Temperance, self-control. This virtue is about moderation, self-discipline, and mastering your desires and impulses. It's about knowing when to stop, when enough is enough, and resisting temptations that lead to excess or harm. It's also about humility and acknowledging your own limitations. Temperance ensures that your passions don't become your masters, allowing reason to guide your choices. Example: in a consumerist society, temperance means resisting the urge to constantly buy new gadgets or clothes, finding contentment with what you have. It means managing your social media consumption to avoid endless scrolling, or exercising discipline with your diet or work habits. It's about conscious choices that lead to well-being, not indulgence. Then there's reason. The Stoics believed your greatest power, your uniquely human gift, lies in your ability to think clearly, to analyze, and to make rational choices, overriding impulsive reactions and emotional turbulence. Reason is the guiding light for all virtues. It's what allows us to process impressions, form judgments, and make choices aligned with wisdom, not just instinct. And finally, living in accordance with nature for the Stoics meant embracing the universal order of the cosmos, accepting reality as it is, and understanding your place within it. It's not about going back to living in a cave, it's about recognizing the rational, interconnected flow of existence and aligning your personal will with that flow. It also means living in accordance with human nature itself, our capacity for reason, virtue, and community. It's about finding harmony with the grand scheme of things, not fighting against the current of reality. This holistic approach ensures that your actions are not just personally beneficial, but also align with the greater good and the natural order. Now, for arguably the most profound and liberating principle in all of Stoicism, the very bedrock upon which your inner fortress will be built, the dichotomy of control. This isn't just a concept, it's a revolutionary shift in perspective that can fundamentally change how you experience life, reducing your stress, anxieties, and frustrations by an incredible margin. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, hammered this point home. There are essentially only two categories of things in the universe when it comes to your power: things that are within your complete control, things that are not within your complete control. And their radical, yet incredibly simple, advice was: direct all your energy, all your concern, all your focus, solely on the first category. For the second, accept them with equanimity, let them go, and do not waste a single ounce of emotional or mental energy worrying about them. Sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But once you truly grasp and consistently apply this principle, you'll discover a profound sense of inner power and serenity that few ever experience. Let's break this down. What's truly within your control? And it will liberate you. This is where the real power lies. Most people mistakenly believe they control far more external things than they actually do, and then suffer when reality doesn't conform. The Stoics teach us the humbling, yet incredibly empowering, truth: very few things are entirely within our direct control. But the ones that are the most important. Your thoughts and judgments, this is the bedrock of your control. You cannot control external events, but you can control how you interpret them, what meaning you assign to them. Example: imagine you get fired from your job unexpectedly. you cannot control the decision of your employer. A non-Stoic might immediately judge this as terrible, catastrophic, unfair, leading to despair and anger. A Stoic, however, would pause before judgment. They would recognize the event itself as neutral. Their judgment makes it bad. Instead, they might reframe it. This is an opportunity for a new path. This is a chance to learn resilience. This might be a blessing in disguise. This act of cognitive reappraisal, this choice of judgment, is entirely within your control. Modern application: you post something online, and it receives negative comments or even cancel culture backlash. You can't control what others say. But you can control whether you internalize their judgment, engage in a futile argument, or simply acknowledge it as an external opinion that doesn't define your worth. You choose to think, this is their opinion, not my truth. Your actions and behaviors: you are the sole architect of your actions. You decide how you respond to any given situation, regardless of external provocations. Example: someone is rude to you in line. You cannot control their rudeness. But you can control whether you respond with equal rudeness, or with patience, or even a kind word that might surprise them. Your choice of action is yours alone. Modern application: you're on a deadline, feeling immense pressure, and tempted to procrastinate or cut corners. Your action, whether to work diligently, focus on the task, or give in to distraction, is your choice. You choose discipline over indulgence. Your reactions and attitudes: while initial emotional impressions might arise automatically, your reaction to them is a choice. You can choose to dwell on anger, or to let it pass. You can choose to cultivate gratitude even in difficult circumstances. Example: you receive disappointing news, perhaps a project didn't go as planned. You might feel a pang of sadness. A non-Stoic might wallow in it. A Stoic acknowledges the feeling, I feel sad, but then chooses their attitude: how can I approach this with resilience? What can I learn? They don't deny the sadness but prevent it from spiraling into despair. Modern application: the constant stream of negative news can leave you feeling helpless and anxious. You can't control world events, but you can control how you process this information. Do you engage in endless doom scrolling, or do you inform yourself, take reasonable precautions, and then focus on what you can impact in your local sphere? You choose your attitude towards the world. Your character and values: this is a lifelong project entirely within your domain. You continually work to cultivate wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Every decision you make, every choice to act virtuously, shapes who you are. Example: you are faced with a temptation to cheat or lie for personal gain. Your character dictates whether you succumb or uphold your values of honesty, even if it's harder. This choice strengthens or weakens your integrity. Modern application: in a competitive professional environment, you can choose to uphold values of honesty and collaboration, even if others engage in cutthroat tactics. Your commitment to your integrity is your own. Your effort, the amount of dedication, hard work, and focus you put into any endeavor is always within your power. The outcome might not be, but the quality of your effort absolutely is. Example: you're preparing for a marathon. You control your training, your diet, your rest. You cannot control the weather on race day, or how fast your competitors run. The Stoic focuses on giving their absolute best effort, finding satisfaction in the process, not just the arbitrary outcome. Modern application: you launch a new business or creative project. You control your research, your planning, your execution, and your persistence. You cannot control market reception or luck. A Stoic dedicates themselves fully to the process, knowing that their effort is where their true power lies, and accepts the outcome gracefully. What's beyond your control? And why releasing it is truly liberating. This is where most people get tripped up. We mistakenly believe we should control everything, and then we suffer immensely when we inevitably fail. Recognizing and internalizing what is truly beyond your control is not about resignation or apathy. It's about a profound, radical act of liberation. It's about reclaiming your mental and emotional energy from futile battles. External events and circumstances. This includes everything from the weather to natural disasters, economic downturns, or a global pandemic. Example: a sudden, unexpected heavy snowfall cancels your important travel plans. You cannot change the weather. You cannot make the snow disappear. Fretting, raging, or complaining endlessly will not alter the reality. It will only make you miserable. A Stoic accepts the fact, then focuses on what they can control, finding alternative travel arrangements, using the unexpected free time productively, or simply enjoying the unexpected day at home. Modern application: a global economic recession hits, affecting your industry. You cannot control the macroeconomy. Worrying about the stock market crashing beyond your influence is wasted energy. A Stoic focuses on strengthening their skills, adapting their business strategy, saving diligently, and being prepared for various outcomes. They act within their sphere of influence and adapt to the external reality. The opinions and actions of other people. This is a huge source of modern anxiety, especially in the age of social media. You cannot control what others think, say, or do. Example: a colleague spreads gossip about you at work. You cannot control their actions or what others choose to believe. Trying to force them to change their minds often leads to more frustration. A Stoic focuses on maintaining their own integrity and character, letting their actions speak for themselves. If direct, constructive communication is possible and virtuous, they might engage, but they won't dwell on the injustice or lose sleep over others' judgments. Modern application: the fear of cancel culture or online criticism. You cannot control how a mob on social media interprets your words or actions, or whether they decide to cancel you. Trying to please everyone is a futile, soul-crushing endeavor. A Stoic focuses on living according to their values, communicating clearly and authentically, and accepting that some people will inevitably misunderstand or dislike them. Their inner peace is not contingent on external validation. The past, what's done is done. You cannot rewrite history. Example: you made a significant mistake at work last year that cost your company money. You cannot go back in time and change that event. Dwelling on regret, guilt, or what-ifs is unproductive suffering. A Stoic acknowledges the mistake, learns from it, apologizes if appropriate, and then focuses on how to apply those lessons to current and future actions. The past is a teacher, not a tormentor. Modern application: ruminating on missed opportunities, past arguments, or embarrassing moments from years ago. This serves no purpose except to steal your present joy. A Stoic accepts the past as fixed, extracts any lessons, and directs their energy towards the present moment, where choice and action still reside. The future: while you can plan and prepare, the future is inherently uncertain and not entirely within your command. Example: you're anxiously awaiting the results of a medical test or a job interview. You can prepare as best you can, but the outcome is in the hands of others or circumstances. Worrying incessantly about all possible negative outcomes exhausts you without changing anything. A Stoic focuses on their preparations, what they can control, and then practices acceptance of whatever result arises, good or bad. Modern application: climate change anxiety, fear of technological unemployment, or political instability. While it's important to be informed and advocate for change, actions within your control, constant, debilitating worry about distant, large-scale future events that you cannot directly control leads to paralysis. A Stoic focuses on their personal contributions, prepares reasonably, and cultivates a mindset of adaptability. Results of your efforts: this is a subtle but crucial distinction. You control your effort, but not always the outcome. Example: you study intensely for an exam, putting in hours of dedicated effort. You control your study habits, your focus, your preparation. You cannot control the exact questions on the test, the grading curve, or unforeseen circumstances during the exam, like a fire alarm. A Stoic finds satisfaction in the quality of their preparation and accepts the grade, knowing they did their best. Modern application: a salesperson making calls controls their pitch, their follow-up, their attitude. They cannot control whether the client buys. A creative artist controls their skill, their vision, their hard work. They cannot control whether their art sells or gains widespread recognition. The Stoic finds peace in the process, not solely in the external validation of the result. Your body and health, partially you can live healthily, but illness, injury, and aging are inevitable parts of life. Example. You diligently exercise and eat well, but still develop a chronic illness. You control your habits, but not every aspect of your body's function. A Stoic focuses on managing the illness with grace, adapting their life, and finding meaning even in suffering, rather than raging against an uncontrollable reality. Modern application: the anxieties around health trends, aging, or unforeseen accidents. A Stoic cultivates good habits but acknowledges the inherent fragility of the human body and focuses on living well with what they have, rather than clinging to a perfect, unattainable state of health. Global events and broader society, politics, economic shifts, natural disasters, societal trends. Example: a major political decision is made that you strongly disagree with. While you can participate in the democratic process, voting, advocating, actions within your control, you cannot single-handedly control the outcome or the decisions of millions of others. A Stoic directs their energy to what they can influence and accepts what they cannot. Modern application: the constant, overwhelming stream of news about conflicts, poverty, or injustice. While empathy and engagement are virtuous, allowing these external events to consume your mental peace without contributing to a solution is not Stoic. A Stoic focuses on what small, impactful actions they can take: charity, volunteering, supporting causes, and accepts the larger reality without succumbing to despair.
No one demonstrated the profound, liberating power of the dichotomy of control better than the great Stoic Epictetus. His life story is a living testament to this principle. Born into slavery in Hierapolis, Phrygia, modern-day Turkey, he endured unimaginable hardship. Imagine, for a moment, his daily reality: you don't control your body, it belongs to another. You don't control your work, your master dictates it. You don't control where you live, what you eat, or even whether you live or die. Your life is entirely at the mercy of another person's whims. Your body could be chained, beaten, or sold at any moment. Yet, from the depths of this external subjugation, Epictetus rose to become one of the most revered philosophical teachers of his time. He was a beacon of inner freedom. How? Because even while his body was in literal chains, he realized a profound, earth-shattering truth: some things are within our control, and some things are not. He understood that while his physical circumstances were entirely outside his control, his mind remained sovereign. He could control his judgments, his thoughts, his attitude towards suffering, his response to cruelty, and his unwavering commitment to virtue. This radical inner freedom, forged and tested in the harshest conditions of slavery, became the absolute core of his teaching. His powerful insights, though he wrote nothing himself, were meticulously recorded by his devoted student Arrian in the Discourses and the Enchiridion, or Handbook. Epictetus didn't just preach this philosophy, he lived it. He owned very little, lived a life of simplicity, and proved to countless students that true power and true freedom don't come from your external status, your wealth, or your circumstances, but from your unwavering control over your internal world. Your judgments, your desires, your aversions. His life stands as the ultimate proof that external chains cannot bind a free mind. Now, let's translate this ancient wisdom into immediate, actionable steps for your life today. This isn't just about intellectual understanding, it's about transforming your daily experience. Scenario 1, the infuriating traffic jam, revisited with deeper insight. Initial reaction, non-stoic rage, honking, frustration, checking time repeatedly, muttering curses. You feel trapped, powerless. Applying dichotomy, pause. Ask, can I control this traffic? No. Now, what can I control? My reaction. Instead of anger, choose calmness. Instead of stewing, perhaps listen to an enlightening podcast, practice deep breathing, or use the unexpected quiet time for a mental check-in. Maybe even smile and wave at a fellow motorist. You've transformed a moment of external frustration into an opportunity for internal peace or productive use. Scenario 2, harsh criticism from a boss or colleague. Initial reaction, non-stoic immediate defensiveness, anger, hurt, resentment. You might replay the criticism endlessly, leading to sleepless nights. Applying dichotomy, pause. Ask, can I control what they said? No. Can I control their opinion of me? No. What can I control? My interpretation and my response. Is there any truth to their criticism? If yes, embrace it as a chance to grow. Thank you for the feedback, I will reflect on that. If it's unfounded, recognize it as their judgment, not your reality. Their opinion of me is not my business. You choose not to let their words disrupt your inner peace. Scenario 3, unexpectedly cancelled plans, vacation, event, etc. Initial reaction, non-stoic deep disappointment, anger at the organizers, feeling of injustice, dwelling on what should have been. Applying dichotomy, pause. Can I control the cancellation? No. What can I control? My attitude. Instead of wallowing, say, okay, this happened. How can I adapt? Find an alternative activity, use the unexpected free time for something creative, or simply enjoy a quiet day at home. You turn a perceived negative into a new possibility. Scenario 4, feeling overwhelmed by global news or social issues. Initial reaction, non-stoic constant doom scrolling, feeling helpless, deep anxiety about distant events, arguing endlessly online. Applying dichotomy, pause. Can I single-handedly solve this global crisis right now? No. What can I control? My knowledge, my empathy, and my actions within my sphere of influence. Inform yourself, engage in local activism if it aligns with your values, donate to a cause, or speak constructively about issues. Then, choose to disengage from excessive consumption of negative news. Focus on what you can do, and release the paralyzing burden of what you cannot. Scenario 5. Dealing with online trolls or negative comments on your content/work. Initial reaction, non-stoic anger, defensiveness, sadness, obsessing over why someone would say that, feeling discouraged. Applying dichotomy, pause. Can I control what this anonymous person thinks or types? No. What can I control? My reaction. You can choose to ignore, block, or delete. If there's a constructive point amidst the negativity, you can extract it. Otherwise, you accept that not everyone will like what you do, and their opinion doesn't diminish your value or effort. Your worth is determined internally, not by anonymous comments. Scenario 6, facing rejection, job interview, relationship, creative project. Initial reaction, non-stoic self-doubt, feelings of inadequacy, bitterness, regret, dwelling on what I did wrong. Applying dichotomy, pause. Can I control their decision to reject me? No. Can I control the outcome of the interview? No. What can I control? My effort during the process, my learning from the experience, and my resilience in moving forward. You learn from the feedback, if any, affirm your effort, and immediately begin seeking the next opportunity. You choose growth over self-pity. The golden rule of application: every time you feel anxiety, frustration, anger, or despair, pause. Mentally, or even verbally, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, consciously and deliberately let it go. Redirect your thoughts, your energy, and your actions to something that is within your control. If the answer is yes, then dedicate your full, rational effort to addressing it, knowing that the effort itself is your reward, regardless of the outcome. Understanding and applying the dichotomy of control is not just a philosophical exercise, it is the single most powerful shift you can make in your life. It is your personal, undeniable map to freedom. It is the master key that allows you to stop being a puppet of external circumstances, constantly buffeted by the winds of fate or the whims of others. Instead, you become the captain of your own soul, consciously and deliberately directing your energy exactly where it truly matters, where it can make a difference. This principle is the unshakable foundation upon which you will build your magnificent, impervious inner fortress. It's the first, most crucial step in becoming truly unshakable, no matter what storms rage around you. In the weeks to come, we'll continue to explore more advanced Stoic tools and techniques, building upon this bedrock. But for now, dedicate yourself to mastering the dichotomy of control. It will be the most rewarding mental workout you'll ever undertake.